What information do you need to complete your workers' compensation audit? My name is Ryan Stillwell. I'm the owner and founder here at Stillwell Risk Partners. And today I'm going to cover the topic of what information you need to complete your workers' compensation audit. Whatever the reason you're looking at this now, I hope you find this information valuable. What I'm going to do is spend a few minutes just highlighting a couple of the things that are most common that every business needs for their workers' comp audit. I'm going to highlight it through this guide that we've prepared, which is downloadable to you if you'd like to have a copy of it. There's a link down in the comments or in the description below for you to go ahead and find this on our website and download it if it would be valuable to you. So for now, what I'm going to do is just highlight a few of the major things that everybody's going to see on their audit. So generally, what you want to do with the audit is collect the information beforehand, right? So if you at the end of every policy term, the insurance company is going to contact you typically within the first 30 days of that policy term ending, say your audit is due. Maybe you get a link to complete it online. Maybe they send you a form to complete, or they send somebody out in person to conduct the audit in person. Whatever the case may be, you're still going to need the same information. The first thing you're going to need is payroll records. So if you go to your payroll company and download reports, what you want to do is get the information from the specific period of time that your workers' comp policy was enforced. So for example, if your policy was enforced for January 1st, 2022 through January 1st, 2023, you're going to want to get all of your 2022 payroll records together. Get that information, and how you organize it is something that can be done beforehand. So what we always recommend to our clients who have more than one class code is to coordinate with your payroll company to have those class codes divided into department codes so that they're easily sortable and recognizable. If you have an employee that maybe does more than one role, let's say that, for example, you're a landscaping company, you have the landscaping class code. Maybe you have a crew that does tree work, so you have a tree trimming classification. Then you have some office employees. You have the office classification. Maybe you have one or two salespeople. So salesperson's classification is typically on there. So you have 4 separate class codes on there, and you want to track those accurately in real time to make the audit as easy as possible. So coordinate with your payroll company about getting those department codes set up and tracking that accurately. And then you want to compile those reports prior to the audit. In addition to that, I'm going to highlight this part here, the tax reports. Every insurance company is going to want copies of your 941s. This is a report that's filed quarterly by your payroll company. You can download those forms directly from your payroll company or ask them for copies of it. Some companies will ask for general ledger information or any type of accounting documentation where you might pay 1099 subcontractors. And then, of course, the certificates of insurance for those subcontractors. So if you're in a profession that often uses subcontractors, let's say you're in construction, you might use, it's a common profession where subcontractors are used. What the insurance company looks for is that those subcontractors have their own workers' compensation coverage. If they don't, and you see a big audit bill following your audit, one of the biggest culprits of that is that your subcontractors don't have workers' compensation, or you don't have evidence of their workers' compensation coverage, and then the insurance company charges you for 1099 payments to subs as if they were your own employees. So keeping those records is vitally important. You want to have a copy of your workers' comp policy to compare and reference when the audit comes through. Employee information, corporate officer information is the next one that I want to highlight here. As the owner of the business, you often have the option to either include or exclude yourself from coverage on the policy. So you want to know if you're included or excluded before you complete the audit, because if you're included, you have to report your own payroll. And if you're excluded, you want to make sure that the audit reflects that, so you're not paying premium for something you don't have coverage for. And some of these are just kind of like compiling this information together, these bullet points here. There's also, I just want to highlight this. Note, it's good to know what is excluded from workers' compensation. Now, these rules can vary by state. Many states are subject to NCCI oversight and regulation. Different states, such as Pennsylvania, New Jersey, have their own compensation grading bureaus and have different rules for this. But it's good to know what's included and excluded. So I'm just going to highlight the first one here, tips, right? In many states, tips, other gratuities that are received by employees are not chargeable under workers' compensation. In Pennsylvania, tips are chargeable up to the federal minimum wage. So if the federal minimum wage is $7.25 and you're a restaurant and your restaurant employees make $2.83 an hour, it's not going to be just that $2.83 an hour. They're going to include tips up to the federal minimum wage, but tips in excess of that are not considered to be wages as far as workers' comp is concerned. So knowing what is specific to your industry, what is included versus excluded, covers some of that here. If you're not sure about it, you can ask your broker. If you don't have a broker, you can always come to us and we're happy to provide some information for you. And then just, some notes here that you can use. But like I said, this guide is downloadable at our website. Please go ahead, download a copy of it, use it in reference for when you're completing the audit. And the last thing I'll add here is, for some business owners who wear a lot of hats and work 15, 16 hours a day, on a good day, the workers' comp audit is something that is more of a pain than anything else, right? It's something that you have to do, but it's not something that you want to do. The process of completing the audit can be made easier by preparation. It also can be made easier with the support of your insurance broker. So if your broker doesn't offer any type of audit support for you, but it's really something that is taking up a lot of your time, which would be better spent running your business or even just getting a break, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to provide some resources and support. And if you're looking for a change, we're happy to talk to you about that if there's a good fit for both of us. So again, download this guide. And if there's anything you need, please feel free to reach out to me or us directly.